How you doing, cat people? It's your favorite YTer Harry here with 2 cool cats and one simple question. Is the duck update getting delayed? If you watched my video yesterday, then you know that the TDS devs went from posting a leak every day for 6 days to posting nothing. I thought that surely they'd end their run of duck leaks with an announcement that the event was starting on Saturday, April 16th, but they didn't. In fact, the devs themselves haven't even acknowledged this event. They haven't even commented on the theme. They haven't even commented on how long it's gonna last, and they haven't even commented on the rewards. Now, there could be 2 reasons for this. 1, it's all a part of the plan to build suspense and excitement for this event. Or 2, during the course of releasing the duck leaks, they ran into problems with finishing the update, so they stopped releasing images with the intention of stopping the building of suspense because they didn't know if they'd be ready to release the event on time. Since we're only 3 days away from my guess of April 16th and only 4 days away from Easter, it's time to ask, are we about to see the first delay of 2022? So far this year, TDS has had 3 incredible months, releasing an event or update every single month, sometimes by surprise, like the April Fool's update, but usually with plenty of advance notice. Consider the solar eclipse event. From the very beginning, the devs had strictly outlined when it would start and when it would end. Here's a shot from a video I made about the battle pass, and you can see that they always intended for it to end on the 25th of January. Now, this is a huge change from what the TDS devs have been known to do, which is leave an event in the game for 6 months with no indication of when it would end and no indication of. So to their credit, when January 25th rolled around, the solar eclipse event did in fact end. The next event they had planned was called the Season of Love and would be based around the Valentine's Day holiday, which takes place every year on February 14th. The question I have now is, how long before this event started did the TDS devs tell us about it? Well, going back through the TDS Discord, I found that the first mention of the Valentine's update comes from RazoAddicts himself, a whopping 10 days before Valentine's Day. Now, he didn't come right out and tell us the release date, so this is just an example of a dev confirming that an event's gonna happen well in advance of that event. It isn't until February 12th that he announced on both Discord and Twitter that the event would be starting the next day, February 13th. And this might be what's happening here. They've released all the teaser images they had, and now they're gonna lay low until Friday, April 15th, and then tell us the event is starting the next day. Now, I'm only using examples of events and updates that have come out this year to make my point, because as recently as last year, they were delaying when events would start and when they'd end, and I want you to see that the TDS devs have changed how they do business and have gotten so much better at starting and ending events on time. Just like the solar eclipse event, the Season of Love ended on time on March 6th. So what about the entity update, which came out in March? The first news of a big update getting released actually came on February 23rd in the TDS Discord when RazoAddicts released this list of bug fixes. At the end of this, he mentions that these are a part of their next update, but he doesn't say anything about when that update's gonna be. So the next reference to the entity update comes on March 6th, just after the Season of Love event ended, with the game creator Below Natural saying, larger update coming soon, again with no date for that update. But then, just 4 days later, on March 10th, the Paradoxum Games Twitter account announced the official start to the entity update, which would be March 12th. That tells us a lot. The devs had been working hard on this update, fixing lots of bugs and adding new content, but didn't say anything about when it would actually be released until 2 days before it came out. But the other important point I want to make here is that they've been referencing this update since February 23rd, or 17 days before it was released. Remember, at this current moment, there's been no info from the TDS devs about what changes might be in the upcoming Duckpocalypse. I mean the Attack of the Birds event. This is unusual compared to the other events I've been talking about, because for both the Season of Love and the entity update, the devs mentioned them both directly in some way well before they started. Do you see how this is all a little sus, considering they haven't said anything about this upcoming spring update? Now, I'm not saying that we should know the exact release date yet. I have a feeling that the devs tend to work on new content right up until it's released, so even after they announce a release date, they still have to finish it. And it should be very clear at this point that if they are planning on starting this new event this weekend, even if everything was going according to plan, we wouldn't be hearing about it until Thursday or Friday at the earliest. list. And here's where things get interesting. Consider the April Fool's update, which they released with almost no notice. On March 30th, 2 days before April 1st, which is April Fool's Day, the devs suddenly changed the game to be all kinds of crazy. They announced these changes on Discord and Twitter at the same time. What's important about this is that when I played this event, it was obvious that they'd worked hard on it. The commander tips were all changed, and there was a set of random animations that the towers and the enemies would cycle through. Somebody's actually got to go in and plan and program all that stuff. So they'd obviously prepared for this update without mentioning that it was coming, but the difference between this update and the one we're waiting for is that it was really small compared to what we're gonna be getting. It definitely didn't have any resurrected ducks that we thought we killed 2 years ago. So compared to this upcoming update, I'm sure it was easier for them to put together and release. Now here's the interesting part. The very first reference to this upcoming spring update was before the April Fool's event. On March 29th, the Paradoxum Games Twitter account tweeted simply quack. This was so misleading that people responded to that tweet by saying that they think it's related to an April Fool's update. And even though this is the first time anything has been said by the TDS devs about this update, they don't say anything else until a week later when they say quack again, but now with the iconic gaggle of ducks picture attached. So April 5th is the first time we can confidently say that something is happening with the ducks. And then every day after that, we get a new leak all the way up until April 10th, with the last leak being the reveal that Mecha Ducky Doom is the boss for this year's spring event. What we've seen so far from the Seasons of Love event and the Entity update is that the TDS devs usually acknowledge an update or event well before it's released, which they haven't done this time. And they usually officially announce the start time for an event or update a day or two before it happens. So back to the main question of this video, is this update gonna get delayed? Well, based on all of the evidence I presented here, I can confidently say that no, I don't think this event is gonna be delayed. The TDS dev team has released an update every single month so far this year, and they've done it on time. Now, you might be thinking, well, Harrison, what about the silence from the devs on Discord and Twitter since the last leak? And I think that's a great question. The good news is that as of 3:43 Mountain Standard Time this morning, the devs posted this. It's a wrench. And over in the TDS Discord below posted a wrench with a ducky. I'm interpreting this to mean that they're still working on the update. I also want to mention that 3:43 a.m. for me is 5:43 a.m. for Raz and Below. So these posts were most likely made after Below had been working all night on the update, because I highly doubt these guys are waking up at 5:30 a.m. to work on a Roblox game. I'm just basing that assumption on the fact that when I was their age, I was going to bed at 5 a.m., not waking up. Also, when I was their age, the year was 2003. There was no such thing as Roblox or YouTube or even iPhone. I have a feeling that they never intended to announce the release date of this event so far in advance of the event, but instead always planned to tell us on Thursday or Friday or even Saturday when the event would be starting. So until those days come and go and we don't hear anything from the TDS devs, we have to assume everything is happening right on schedule and that we're going to be playing the Attack of the Birds update while we're hunting for Easter eggs. Now go ahead and let me know what you guys think about my predictions down in the comments below. Do you think that there is any evidence at all that this update will be delayed, or do you think the update will be released exactly when the devs planned with no problems at all? If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button with your forehead, hit the subscribe button with your big toe, and turn on notifications however you can so you don't miss any of my amazing upcoming content. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Take care, be safe, and never forget what I always say. Peace!